Alright, good morning, guys. Here we go. We're going to try and do this Lego this morning. First, I'm going to begin with just the simple rectangle and adding the tabs on the top. So let's get started. First thing you want to do, again, make sure document settings are in your correct system or in units. We are metric millimeters. You can find this under the browser tab and document settings. You guys should know how to do this already. Next thing we're going to do is create a sketch. Choose your plane, Christmas colors, X, Y, and then we can either go up here, choose this sketch, or I'm sorry, we're going to choose a 2-point rectangle. We'll click on the origin, and you guys obviously should have, forgive me, let me step back, you should have a Lego in front of you. Again, I'm just doing a basic 2x4 traditional brick. If you are doing something else, there'll be some other things that will be involved. But currently, we're just starting with a 2x4 regular traditional Lego brick, and I will try to post another one here for those of you doing something different. Hopefully, you found the Legos in the bin. Yeah. Anyway, so you'll need at bare minimum, you'll need that Lego. Individual Lego, you'll need some sort of measuring device, whether it be calipers or plastic ruler or ruler with the metric system on it. So make sure you get those before you begin. I should have explained that before we got started here, but here we are. So we've reviewed, we've checked our system of measurement, and then we chose our plane, and now we're beginning to create a rectangle on our sketch. Comes up with measurements. We need to enter in our measurements, and if you're measuring, it should be 32. Will be the length, and the width will be half of that, 16. And we'll click enter, and once we have that, we can hit the stop sketch. Next, we'll go ahead and extrude our block up. The height of these, again, we're rounding. I know we can be a little bit more precise, but we're rounding. So we'll put in 10 for the height. Once we have that, we'll hit enter. And we'll need to create a sketch on top of the top face. We don't want the plane, we want the face. So if we go to sketch, circle, center diameter. Again, don't choose any planes, we want the face itself. Notice how that plane highlights. We want to make sure that we're hitting that. Oop, and I got the plane. So what I need to do, if that happens, I'm going to stop the sketch, and I'm actually just going to delete this. It's the simplest way to do it. So here we go again. Create sketch. Sorry about my dogs in the background here. So we'll create a circle, and we can place that circle anywhere we'd like to at this time. The diameter of the circle is going to be 5. So we've placed our circle, 5mm circle. We'll click on the dimension tool as we've worked with before. Some of you may have worked this with your die. Again, that was just practice, but you will need to work with it in this instance. Again, it's this guy up here. The two vertical lines with the arrow in between them. And what that is talking about is the distance between the points that you're measuring. The two lines represent the parts that you're measuring in between from. We'll go ahead and we'll click the center of the circle, and we'll click this edge here, the left side edge, and we want to bring then our dimension up top before we click again off of the drawing. And once we have it located where we would like it, we can go ahead and click again and enter our dimension. These should be 4mm from both in the X direction, left and right, horizontal, and the 4 millimeters from the Y direction if this is our origin, again, in your coordinate system that you guys may be familiar with from math class. We have our Y, positive Y is up here, negative Y, and the positive X, negative X over here. All right, so we have it placed in the X direction properly. Let's go ahead and do it again. D for dimension, and in this instance we chose horizontal because we're placing the horizontal, the X measurement. Now we're going to be placing it, the Y, giving a direction reference from this point, the upper left hand corner, in the Y direction. So we're going to choose the top line. It doesn't matter which one you choose. Again, make sure you're choosing the center of the circle, not the outside. And we'll bring our dimension off to the side. We'll type in our measurement and then hit enter. So now this is placed exactly where we want it, and it's very important to get this placed, and we have to do that with the dimension tool, or else these other tabs will not be aligned properly either. Once we have this, we'll go ahead and stop sketch. We'll hit extrude. Click on the object or geometry we'd like to extrude. The extrusions of these are 1.5 millimeters. And there's our first tab. Next, we'll go over here, we'll up to create. We're going to hit pattern, choose a rectangular pattern, and we're going to follow these questions, answer the questions that the computer or program's asking us. In order to make these, or choose, or get the tabs, we need to choose, when we're choosing our objects up here, we need to choose both the face, both faces of this, the vertical and the top face. So to get both of them, we'll click 1, and if you hold the shift key in, you can then choose the next one. Now it's asking us, those are the two faces that we want to make the pattern out of. The directions in which we want to go, we are going to choose the line or an edge that is going in the direction that we want them to go in. So this top edge here goes in that direction. And so next we'll go down to, or you can actually, in this instance, choose both of them. This is a little bit different than the regular version in the browser. You can choose both of these lines because we're going to have one going in the, if we turn this to face us, we're going to have one going in the vertical direction and one going in the horizontal direction. So we have both of our directions chosen. They're perpendicular to each other. We'll go ahead and we'll click on, again, we talked about the difference between extent and spacing. Extent would be the distance between the center of the first circle to the center of the second circle. If you want to measure that, again, it's from center to center. Make sure you're measuring the center to center of the circles. If not, we can go ahead and we can choose our spacing, meaning the center of one to the center of the next one. And that's the one I will be doing. So for this first, notice the highlighted arrow here. We're going to need, the quantity of the tabs is going to be 4, and they will be at a distance of -8 because our arrow is going in the opposite direction. And then we'll move down here to our second direction, and we would like the quantity to be 2, and again -8, so that our arrow is going in the proper direction. And once we have this, it should auto-populate there, and you should then have your tabs. So that's pretty much it, making the tabs on the top, and depending on what Lego or feature that you have, that's we can use the rectangular pattern for any of those features that you may have, depending. It doesn't matter what Lego you are choosing to model, whether it be circles on the side, circles on the bottom. It's all about patterns. So you would use this feature. You just have to do a little measuring and think about in what directions and what what patterns and what dimensions and what directions you're using. So take a little bit, watch the video back through it as you're going through this. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me. and I will answer them to the best of my ability as they come in. Thank you.